You guys ready for some news?
Not really.
The good news. Good news, bad news, and other shit is just the way it is this week. You know, I try to give you a break, but you know, it is my duty to remind you of things that's happening out there. So I will do that. And you know, so it's good news, bad news, not necessarily in that order. All right. Good news. Erykah Badu's vagina scented incense, $50 a pack, sold out in just minutes. Give it up for Erykah. Anybody who can sell something like that, out. What do you think? What do you think? $50 a pack for vagina scented incense, and hip hop icon Erykah Badu. They say that, and I talked to some younger folks, some millennials, and they say, "Oh yeah, she's known for her mystique over men." That's what Candace told me.
All right,
she's known for her mystique.
Okay,
so she's got mystique in her stuff.
I'm gonna give her props because anytime you can have success in this, but let me tell you where I think the trailblazer who really did this, Grace Jones, Strong J. Just remember the perfume. Just
I wish I had that clip.
So
you'll get us some copyright problem. Strong J. Strong J.
The perfume. You have to go back to who started it all. That's all I'm saying. Give props. Both.
That's right. Well, Erykah Badu, I'm going to try to get me some, but it's sold out. I'm going to try to get some because I want to burn some, see what Vic thinks.
Oh, so you wonder, wait a minute.
I'm going to get some.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to get some Erykah Badu, $50 a pack, vagina scented incense, and we're going to burn it here in the studio.
I tell you what, this is what you do. Here's the real test. Don't tell anybody. Burn it and see if anybody inquires. That's the real true test now. You can't say it's Erykah Badu. You got to
say, what is that scent, Mario?
Yes.
What have you been doing?
That's all you have to do, man.
I knew I should have trusted you.
So I'm just saying, the real test.
All right, well, we'll see. We're going to get some. Like I said, I'm trying to get some.
I feel you, man.
But it's sold out.
I feel you.
All right. And a related story, I don't know how it's related. Just seems like a nice segue. Researchers have lately been talking about the wonderful benefits of eating cabbage, Vic. Eating cabbage, and you know I cook some cabbage. I saute some cabbage with some onions and some peppers.
Oh yeah, no, you put it down. I'm not gonna lie to you. You hook it up with no preservatives. I'm sorry, man.
It's all natural.
That's right.
Kind to your colon. Kind to your colon. We believe in colon kindness. And we want you to know that cabbage is in. So I want you to know, some of you know, see, I'm a big proponent. I tell this to my friends. Eating healthy is actually eating cheaper. It really is. If you eat healthy, you're buying, fresh vegetables, things that are cheaper in cost and cheaper to prepare. So one of the things that's happening right now is cabbage. So
yep, that's good, man. Look, right now, everybody's going towards healthy, man. And to me, it's something you have to. For you, it's going to be interesting, Mario, because you come from old school. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know the transformation is different for you.
Sooner or later, we all come from old school. As we get older, they all become.
That's true.
All right. Prayers, blessings go out to the family of Trader Joe founder Joe Colombe, who has passed it. Give it up for Joe. He's been a favorite of people.
Yeah.
And mainly Trader Joe is known for being the happiest grocery store that you ever go into. You go in there, everybody's always trying to be helpful.
Right.
So kind and friendly. And they say that really carries on because of Joe. They say that that's his personality embodied in the store.
Right.
And that's why it has become such a favorite, really a favorite here in Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
To a lot of people. So once again, prayers, blessings, celebrations for you, Joe.
Now, you know I have to do this. If that's the place you walk into that's the happiest, which one do you walk into that just makes you cringe and go, it's just depressing? Now, you don't have to answer.
Bank of America.
Oh, man, you going to go to the bank? You going bank? Oh, man. Okay. All right. All right,
Bank
man.
of America.
All right, now you know they're powerful. They're going to see this clip.
That's good.
All right.
Not hiring us.
Right.
Sure. All right, let's give it up. We have a moment of celebration. Harvard University's medical school has their first black woman student body president. This is for the medical school.
Hey, there you go.
First black woman.
Now, you know what?
What's her name? I got to go.
I missed
Her name is LaShira Nolan. She's the first black woman to be student body president for Harvard Medical School.
There you go. I like that.
Give it up once
I like
again.
that, man. Congratulations.
Man, I'm telling you, it's a wonderful week in the news. Wonderful week in the news.
There you go.
But then not all the news is good. Like we said, good news, bad news, and other shit. Okay? And one of the things which is really happening now is this whole reaction to the coronavirus. Because the coronavirus is having impacts nationwide, citywide, personally, and on college campuses. One of the stories that's coming out now is the racism that Chinese students are experiencing on campuses here in the United States.
Right.
It turns out a bunch of incidents of students are happening. And all because of people's, and you would think they know better. Actually, these are colleges, right? So they're supposed to actually be smarter.
Right.
And so they're not so much prone to just believe in bullshit.
Right.
But even on college campuses, you have more and more instances of racism.
And you know what's so hard about this, man? A lot of times the people you're referring to, we're in an age where people don't watch TV, so you have a lot of people sitting up there trying to advocate nonviolence. They're doing their whole thing. But a lot of these people are not watching this, and out of ignorance, this is what they're doing. You know, the fear. Just as often as they're telling people, don't rush out to buy masks. Stop. Just stop, because
Okay.
you know what?
Thank you. Let me comment on that story.
That is, if anybody wants to go like this, all right, I'm gonna go to a park. I can picture somebody at a big event, you know, tux, dancing on the floor with a mask.
Don't buy
Don't
masks.
do it. Don't do it.
That whole don't buy masks thing was one of the examples of something I wanted to comment on because that announcement, which came from the CDC, is really an example of why people don't believe your government agencies worth of shit.
Right.
Because his logic was so stupid.
Stupid, yeah.
Okay, it was so stupid. See, these are doctors talking to you, and they talk to you in ways that are really stupid. And this is the CDC. Right. So his thing was, you shouldn't buy masks because it may actually be harmful to you.
Right.
Which is bullshit.
True.
His point was, wearing a mask may make you touch your face more.
I know, man.
And his whole point then was to say they needed masks to be available for healthcare workers. So once again, bullshit. All you got to do is tell the people, suppliers,
Right.
provide it to health workers first.
True.
Then that solves that, right?
Right.
All the government has to do is say, epidemic mandate, sell the mask to us. We demand the mask.
Right.
So he tells you a untruth that the mask is going to be risky to you, and that's why people don't trust the CDC, because you got idiots like this making announcements.
Right.
Okay, so that's so let me just comment on that, because stuff like that burns me up. And
Right.
this is coming from your medical establishment. This is why you don't trust these assholes. Okay, now the CNN reported that reportedly there's 88,000 infected people with the coronavirus and 3,000 dead. Now, the whole point of that is that depends upon the government's reporting, which I don't trust either.
Oh, it's always underreported.
Who trusts that?
It's under. It's under, man.
You know that. First of all, in the places that don't have an infrastructure, a healthcare infrastructure, there's no one to do the reporting. They're like, hey, Bob, you want to go out and count the sick people? No, I sent Joan. She is not back yet. Okay.
Right.
We don't know how many people it is.
No.
Because they don't have anybody for that job. As it turns out here in the U.S., because of the president's failure to appoint leadership, you have actually problems all across the United States because you don't have leadership in there. The president has effectively caused problems within the medical infrastructure and agencies because he doesn't fund those agencies.
Right.
So now you get to see what happens when you don't have the agencies there to protect you. So now let me just tell you, it's so interesting. Coronavirus, I was thinking to myself, coronaviruses are common. And then I said, then I come to look, there's like 25% of colds are coronavirus.
Right.
Okay, the SARS was a type of coronavirus.
Right.
This is COVID-19. It's a type of virus. And part I try to point out to people, these viruses are different and change. And even though this virus is, again, felt to be less deadly than the flu, okay, if you have a spread of a virus that goes worldwide, then you have a bunch of people who died. Supposedly, the flu of 1918 infected 50 million people. Now, if this coronavirus has a lethality rate of 2%, if you have a lot of people infected, that's still a lot of deaths. So let's see. Alexa, what's 2% of 50 million?
2% of 50 million is 1 million.
Okay, so if you get 50 million people with this, you're going to have 1 million deaths.
Yeah, they're already
okay.
Already there, man. You know what? The one that got me is I can't remember which doctor was talking, and he was a specialist, and he was going, okay, I want to give you guys an idea of this. Let's just say it hits 500,000 people in the United States. Now, just talking about those infected. He says, in the total capacity of respirators in the United States is about 75,000. He says, okay, now start there. He said, so if it's more than 75,000 people, and here's the other call, it costs to get one on those respirators, right?
$50,000.
There you go.
35.
All right. So
okay, they're estimating, Vic, boy, dang, my boy's on it. Vic, I was looking at that. They're estimating a need for 750,000 respirators.
People don't know right now.
750,000.
Right. We only have 75,000 right now.
750,000.
All right. All right, y'all.
Now, here's the trip. I don't know if you had that many doctors out there to run that many ventilators because I ran vents, but it wasn't 750,000 of us around. Okay.
Right.
All right. There just wasn't. So you don't have that kind of. You're going to have a lot of training.
Right.
And then have an MD working with like 10 respiratory therapists.
Right.
In a ward full of ventilators. One doctor to 25 vents, or something like that. You might have something like that. A big room, 25 ventilators instead of one doctor for 8.
Right.
Now you got one doctor for 30 vents.
Right.
And a league of respiratory therapists of 60.
Right.
Or 50, 60 doing stuff and nurses. So this is, now here's this other thing, Vic, which was a wonderful thing for someone to point out, sad and scary too.
Right.
In one of these cases, at one of the hospital, it led to over 100 and some hospital workers being quarantined at home.
Yes.
Can you imagine what happens? See, what happens ultimately is they start letting the hospital workers work. Whether they've been exposed.
That's
Here's what happens all
said.
the time.
You have to call them back in.
You have to say, because you don't have nobody to work.
Them, so they have to
you
come
have nobody
back
to work. So you got to call the hospital workers back in who may be sick.
That's it.
Put masks on them to protect you.
Right.
And then have them work.
I got one for you. Got to do the what if. I wouldn't be shocked if people, when it starts increasing, and they go, China built 2 full-out hospitals in 10 days. And they are already preparing by escalating the need already. The U.S. response is based on capitalism. Where do you think, if you were in the same location, if you were in China, although you go, who's better prepared to handle versus the U.S. once it spreads. Now, I know we have a system that's integrated with an unbelievable amount of support. But if somebody had to say right now, can you handle a certain amount of people coming?
You can't handle it like China.
You
China had 35,000 healthcare workers
Yeah.
bust in.
Yes.
35,000.
Right. Now,
And Vic talked about the hospitals, which are really triage centers, but it's like this. They're big old warehouses, stadiums with bunk beds.
but better
you
than, right.
Right, but you still have healthcare
Yes,
workers.
you do.
You have people who are making the food.
Right.
Who are providing the bathrooms, the toileting services,
So
right?
where would you want to
Food-
be?
Supportive care, which is what people sick need.
Right.
Now, the reason why China can respond way better than the U.S. is because of politics. In the U.S., this is where you're going to have this happen. Unfortunately, politics is going to get in the way.
Yep.
What you really needed to do was determine ahead of the crisis that in the event of the crisis, this protocol would be carried out regardless of the politics. Now, because you don't have that, imagine what happens if you had to shut down Los Angeles and told everybody to stay indoors.
Yeah.
The city that they shut down, from what I understand, is 3 times the size of L.A.
Right.
They shut down the city and told everybody to stay indoors to prevent spread. You think you could do that in L.A.? I doubt it.
Very much.
You won't. They won't do it. The politics. The politicians will be putting out commercials going, they're doing this stuff. I'm not for it.
Right.
You'd have commercials going, they locked up Los Angeles. What about your rights? That's the commercials that the politicians will be running. So in China, because they have a more authoritarian regime, they did what was necessary regardless of what the people wanted. Okay? They just did it. They shut the city down. They brought in the healthcare workers. They shut down schools. Did you hear any protests about that? No. Are there any protests on the streets of Wuhan? No.
Yep.
What would happen if you shut down China? So the problem in the U.S. is that your health care is so politicized that they can't even take the right efforts because of politics. Right. And because you have people at the CDC making stupid statements, so there's no trust to them.
Like I said, what if?
This is what's happening in the United States of America, and this is why you're not getting the response. One of the issues with Trump is that Trump is going to end up, because of his ways of getting in the way, he's going to end up blocking. He's already thwarted the response by gutting these agencies and gutting their policies, gutting their strength, gutting their agencies, gutting their funding. Now you have these agencies who will not be able to operate.
Yep.
So let's see what happens when you need it.
Yeah.
You're screwed.
Yes. Yep.
Now, you don't need a mask. Let me tell you something. I mean, you could tie a cloth around your face, okay?
Right.
All right? And the mask doesn't do nothing. You're getting your germs from what you touch,
Yep.
okay? Droplet spread is there, but that's not the big offender. First of all, when you cough and sneeze, that goes onto the surfaces.
Right.
Which is what you touch. It's not floating all around the air all the time. Woo, woo. I mean, stuff floats, but it ain't hanging up in the air.
Whereas more people are, you have to be in direct proximity right there in front of them. But most people say, hey, I'm not around them. Proceed to go touch everything.
Right.
They're called
So,
repetitive, man.
I would say this. It would do you better to go buy you some disposable gloves.
Right.
And wear those when you go out. Or then when you first come in, wash your hands. Hand washing is the thing. I was to wash my hands. When I was working in the hospital, if I thought I touched you, I washed my hands again.
That's right.
I wasn't even sure, just wash. And when I say wash your hands, go look at the videos on proper hand washing, like they show us in the hospital. What you guys call washing hands.
It's not washing.
That ain't washing hands. That little scrub, little rinse. No, you're supposed to sit. They talk about spending, what? How many? A minute?
Oh,
How many minutes? Let me see. I got it wrong.
Oh,
let's look it
yeah.
up. Let's see.
You look
how
it
many
up.
minute hand washing?
Let me tell you
how
something.
many minutes? How many?
How much are your own clothes full of the germs because you touch your clothes all the
It's the
time.
females that are full of germs.
Oh, dude, you just gonna go there now, right?
I'm telling you.
So sounds a little prejudiced to me.
the females,
You know what?
they full of germs.
No.
I'm telling you, that's why-
I would hesitate to say that women's
I'm telling you.
hygienic requirements kind of supplants the men. You know what I'm
They
saying?
taught us like a minute. Okay, 20 seconds. They want you at least 20 seconds. And that's what the CDC is saying. They want you to wet your hands, turn off the water, apply soaps, lather your hands by rubbing them together, and then the back of your hands, between your fingers, underneath your nails, for at least 20 seconds. And we were taught a minute.
Right.
Then, your hands may be clean.
Okay.
Then you could then fondle your honey. I'm just saying.
I'm no comment on
I'm
that
just
one.
saying.
Leave that alone.
So anyway, right now the coronavirus, people are acting crazy, racism on campus. Now what should you do? And we're going to be talking about this and reminding you from time to time. Do the simple things. Stock up on groceries. I have a pantry, lasts me at least a month.
Absolute water.
I ordered water, Vic.
Yeah.
We used to get Arrowhead. I had stopped because I got an issue with them. Now I'm going back. We're going to have 5-gallon bottles of water.
You got it? Are you getting it from Albert's water or Rashid's water?
I'm getting it from Rashid.
Okay, that's cool, bro.
Rashid, the ghetto water.
There you go. See,
You know it's safe.
I didn't
'cause
say
it's from the ghetto.
I just said the name. They're distributors.
It's like Flint Water. That's what they're going to be distributing. The Flint Water Company.
Now you're going to throw them under the bus.
is going to be distributing water. That's what they said.
Well,
From the government said they got water to help you, and it's the special Flint Watering Company.
You know what,
that's
you gotta
gonna
do
be
that.
providing water to the inner cities of Los Angeles.
You know what? I'm waiting for those people to fully get restored with the proper water. You're making jokes
you'll be
about
waiting.
that.
Yeah, we waiting. Everybody waiting.
I
They're
can't
waiting
believe
for them.
You know what? Nah, let me leave it alone. Go to the next one, man.
In the Democratic circus, Joe Biden has had a recent resurgence because of the black folks in South Carolina. Buttigieg has withdrawn, and Amy Klobuchar currently is on the run because people are getting on her case about the black teen that she sent to jail. It's being reshaped. Remember,
Right.
all of this is the drama that leads up to the July convention. After July, there will be one Democratic candidate.
Yeah.
I think at that point in time, everything changes. When people go into that booth, they're going to, at least I can say for me, as an independent and a leftist, I'm still going to vote for whoever the Democratic Party candidate is this time
Right.
in an effort to defeat Trump. Even if it's Joe Biden, I already said I would swallow the vomit in my mouth and vote for him. Okay, all right? That's what I would do.
I feel you,
Even
man.
if it's Joe Biden. I would choke it down and run outside and have a fit of gas and vomiting after I voted for Joe Biden.
That's kind of deep, man.
Yeah, it would be
Kinda
that.
deep.
It would affect my constitution quite that much. But it looks like, at least at the time being, that it's headed down. Now the race is narrowing down to Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden.
The anti-old school Democrat. They're gonna have a rough. It's gonna have a rough time because he's trying to shake up the system.
Well, here we go.
Here we go, man. So progressive.
Bloomberg and Elizabeth Warren is still hanging in there.
About this barely, man.
So we see as we head toward the convention.
Right.
I already said Elizabeth Warren is my candidate, but I will be supporting whoever is the Democratic choice.
All right. I feel you, man.
Okay? All right. All right. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the bad news and the other stuff.